Welcome to Pokemon Masters Council. We're coming at you with another How to Use guide. Today's another very special one from the home update. We got the second Galarian Starter. Zero, how you been, buddy? What do you think of this guy?
Hey guys, what's going on? I'm super excited to talk about Inteleon. Probably the weakest of the three Galarian starters, but right now we just want to shout out everyone who's been subscribing to the channel lately. If you're not subscribed already, please do us a huge favor. We are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we could use your help. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and let us know in the comments what you think about Inteleon. We would love to get a few more comments in there, get some interaction. We'd love to respond to those comments. Justin, Inteleon, buddy.
Yeah, he's kind of like James Bond. He's the sniper Pokemon, the secret agent Pokemon, technically is what he is. Got that little finger pistol, got some squirt gun action going on. I really like his aesthetic, his theme, his color scheme's actually pretty cool. I dig him. He reminds me of Dimitri from Sly Cooper. That's why mine is named Dimitri. So if you hear me call him that, that's why. What do you think of this guy?
I think he's a little underrated. This is a Pokemon that did a lot of work in the NU tier, in Showdown formats last generation, and he does have a few little tricks up his sleeve. He's a little bit nerfed from our last generation, but overall...
Yeah, just like Rillaboom. They're starting to hit the big Galar pokes already.
Yeah, I mean, except Cinderace, he's still doing all right.
Yeah. Stay tuned next week. Spoiler alert. So, I really like this guy. He's a lot of fun. He actually is coming out into Unite soon, so that's going to be really, really exciting. If you do play Pokemon Unite, go check that out. But, in terms of competitive for singles and VGC, that's why you're here. We're on Pokemon DB as usual. Zero, we got a pure water type here today.
Yep, you can't go wrong with a pure water type, although this guy's defenses are a little lacking. Water is a great defensive and offensive type. We'll talk about his stats in a moment here, but BC's the secret agent Pokemon. Let's talk about the abilities here, Justin. We've got Torrent, your classic water starter ability. When your HP gets low, your water type attacks do more damage. And then we've got Sniper, buddy, the fun ability.
Yeah, Sniper's the real reason that we're here. Torrent's pretty legit for what it is. This Pokemon can live on a sash and then have the Torrent boost. Not too shabby. But the reason that we're here is for Sniper. Sniper is the crit ability. You know, unfortunately, this dude did get nerfed. Normally what we say is we need 3 stages of crit and then you're at 100%. But Inteleon lost focus energy from 8th gen to 9th gen, so we lost that easy way to get that 3rd stage. So the best you can get is a 50% chance to crit with 2 stages, with crit moves and the scope lens item. And then Sniper boosts your damage. It's pretty insane, bro.
Yeah, this Pokemon was an absolute menace when it was able to crit 100% of the time. Didn't really even matter what format it was. It was, Smogon singles, 3v3 singles, and even VGC for a short while. This Pokemon was putting in a lot of work with crits, especially in those early Gen 8 formats. But we're in Gen 9, buddy. Let's talk about these stats before we dive into our sets.
You already mentioned it before. He is very, very squishy. Paper thin, as his aesthetic would tell you, right? He's just this tiny little lizard, right? Very scrawny. 70 HP, 65 for both defenses, so there's nothing to speak of. We got 85 physical attack, so it's whatever. That's where Sceptile's at, and let me tell you, it's not that amazing, but it can be used. 125, though, for special attack. Very respectable, and a 120 for speed. Insanely powerful.
Yep. So definitely fits that role of a speedy sweeper or support mon if it's got the support moves to go with it. 125, like we've mentioned before, that is Gardevoir territory, and we know that Pokemon slaps pretty hard. However, this Pokemon is quite a bit faster.
He really embodies the whole, go fast, hit hard, just glass cannon kind of Pokemon. So in terms of these sets, bro, we are going to be starting off with basically the sort of staple. This can be used in both singles and VGC, but essentially this is more of the kind of the standard Inteleon, right? The offensive spread.
Yeah, this is what you're going to see most often. I think you and I both agree that this Pokemon kind of lives to be a singles Pokemon. He does have VGC qualities that we will absolutely talk about But this is where Inteleon makes his home, is in the singles meta. So let's kind of go down the line here, Justin. We're starting with that sniper ability, right?
Yeah, we're going to go timid, 252. Slap that 4 defense or spec D or whatever. It doesn't really matter. If you are teching in any physical moves, you could add in there, of course, 4 physical attack or 8 or 12, kind of, put in whatever EVs you want, honestly. And then obviously instead of timid, you could go like naive or naughty or one of those hybrid kind of, up speed, down for one of your defenses, because it doesn't matter anyways.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, I think this is pretty much going to be the kind of the set for all 3, honestly. It's just the squishy build. There's not really much to do in terms of EVs with this guy. But the items and the moves, as well as the Terras, where it's going to be really bifurcated, right? The Life Orb, the Covert Cloak, Choice Scarf, there are so many options. We already talked about Focus Sash. Honestly, Focus Sash could go on any Inteleon ever, till the end of time. It's a great item for this guy. But I really do like the options here, whether it's singles or VGC, the way that Zero mentioned. I do think that Covert Cloak has a lot of nice utility, of course, obviously for fake out, but other secondary effects as well. Life Orb is great because it helps boost that 125 damage, and Choice Scarf because then you can go max Modest with the Choice Scarf. Do you see what I mean? It opens up so much potential just based on your item choice alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing for the Covert Cloak is we've got all the genies coming around. They all got new spread moves that all have new secondary effects. You don't want to get caught by some of those, like Tornadus, Bleak Wind, Storm. Has I think it's 20 or 30% chance to lower your speed. You don't want this guy's speed getting lowered. So Covert Cloak definitely could be a play. Terra types, Justin, looks like these are all kind of offensive Terra types for Inteleon.
Definitely. We're not worried about defense at all. We're going to go dark, kind of help us with that secondary stab option, ice, secondary stab option, or we're going to go water, double dip for that snipe shot or hydro pump, especially if you're going to do a rain team, because at the time of this recording, we're getting ready for Regulation D, and rain is going to be everywhere. We have the snipe shot or hydro pump, depending on whether or not you want to hit and crit or miss and cry. Then you have some Ice Beam, Dark Pulse, or Sucker Punch, Protect, and U-Turn. So basically here's Zero. Kind of got a hodgepodge. Ice Beam I think is great. Snipe Shot and Hydro Pump are both great, jokes aside. Dark Pulse is your big, coverage option for special attack. Or Sucker Punch, if, like we mentioned earlier, if you want to run kind of one of those hybrid ones, it does give you some priority, although it is on the physical side, as well as U-Turn for those Choice Scarf options, because who doesn't love a 120 base speed Choice Scarf U-Turn?
Yeah, this is an excellent Pokemon to tech on that U-Turn. He presents a lot of pressure with his speed and does decent damage on the 125 special attack and that combination of Hydro Pump. So definitely, this Pokemon puts on so much pressure. I can't tell you how many games I lost to Inteleon endgame in Sword and Shield. So because he presents this big offensive
late
pressure, and he can really force switches or weird options. So U-turning is definitely a great option for him. And then VGC Protect, I can't say enough about protecting your squishy Pokemon. They draw a lot of pressure as well, so can't leave home without Protect.
Yeah, and obviously if you don't like the U-turn, you could do Dark Pulse and Sucker Punch, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You could also tech in things like Taunt or Icy Wind or all these different supportive moves, because he has a great move pool. Which, speaking of which, that segues perfectly into our second slide here, because this is my favorite set to use Inteleon in VGC. You've seen this on the channel before. We've talked about it. We've shown it off. We got to, feature it in its full glory because the series switched over and all the restrictions came in. But Inteleon, along with my favorite Pokemon of all time, for an example, Sceptile, who's not in this game right now, F's in the chat, but we could definitely pull this off with multiple different partners. This is how you do VGC support Inteleon, and specifically as like a lead and or a self-proccing weakness policy, because obviously back in 8th gen, Dynamax with weakness policy was all the rage, but we can still make use of that today in a terrestrialized format.
Yeah, so obviously you could be going in on some really strong, really thick physical or special attackers with this idea. Like, I think Ursaluna would potentially be a great option to proc a weakness policy on.
Definitely, because he has a couple, because he does have Aqua Jet too. So you do either Aqua Jet or Ice Shard.
Yeah,
so there's a lot of options for priority to self-proc your partner's weakness policy with +1 prio. Instead of shooting your opponent, you're going to shoot your partner in the face, proc his weakness policy, and do like no damage because it's physical. And we're going to go timid intentionally to make sure that we have lowered attack, and presto changeo. There we go.
Yeah, talk about these other moves you've got on here, because we've got some really fun tech here. Like, obviously, we've got Haze and Taunt. Haze, you wouldn't want to run on a weakness policy.
No, yeah, definitely. He does get access to it, so he's got a great supportive move pool. Haze, Taunt, Icy Wind. He also has Helping Hand. So we're not going to leave home without Focus Sash on this set 0. And we're actually going to go Terra Ghost for a nice defensive choice. Because as a lead, we want to be immune to those fake outs, right?
Yeah, and those are super prevalent right now with Iron Hands. Iron Hands is making a pretty big presence in Regulation D testing in VGC, so you'll be, a lot of people are looking for breathing room for their offensive options, so they're bringing a lot of fake out. So that's definitely one thing to keep in mind. Terragos is going to be really strong for these supportive Pokemon that really need to get off a move before they go down.
To round out the set, we've got Icy Wind, really great, can't be overstated how good this is, especially at a base 120 speed coming out the Inteleon. Being able to spread out the ice damage, first of all, is a great type, and then being able to spread out -1 speed is very powerful as a lead. Your partner, just clicks Protect, you click Icy Wind, you get some speed control. Very good. Water Pledge or Chilling Water 0. What in the world are we doing here? Well, I'll tell you. Water Pledge, Fire Pledge, Grass Pledge. These are starter moves only for people that do not know, and they combo together. So whatever move you used last turn will combo with the move you use next turn. So if you used a Fire Pledge last turn over your, or you used Grass Pledge from like Sceptile, he would shoot out the Grass Pledge, and then this guy could use Water Pledge. It basically turns the ground into a swamp. And then if you use the Grass Pledge and then Incineroar and that team would come out and use Fire Pledge, it would set the thing on fire and there's dot damage. And then there's also a Rainbow when you put the water out, and that it makes you immune to secondary effects or status effects. So it had 3 really powerful abilities: control, dot damage, and protection against statuses. So very, very strong there, and those still in the game in 9th Gen 0. Otherwise, you could do Chilling Water, which is a great new move. Water, special attack, -1 attack to the target. So pretty legit there, right?
Yeah, it kind of fills a similar role to Hisuian and Zoroark right now, because Bitter Malice is a special ghost type move that always lowers physical attack. This is a very similar idea, and this is our replacement for Scald. So if you really lean into this supportive role for Inteleon, I think he could do well.
Well, and Helping Hand's great. Taunt's amazing at base 120 speed. We already talked about either the Ice Shard or the Aqua Jet to proc your partner's weakness policy as an option. But the Chilling Water and the Icy Wind are also here 0. You can also proc partner's Mirror Herb. So basically what you do is you use either Icy Wind or Chilling Water, and you intentionally target an opponent's Defiant Pokemon, lowering their speed or lowering their attack, which then procs Defiant, giving them a +2 increase to their physical attack, essentially a Swords Dance. Then if you have a partner next to you, next to your Inteleon, when this happens, the Mirror Herb procs copies that Swords Dance onto something like a Roaring Moon, or my personal favorite, Hisuian Samurott, just as an example. So now Hisuian Samurott can run Protect 3 attacks and the Mirror Herb to then essentially have a 5th attack, Swords Dance.
Absolutely. You're getting all of this free tech here from the PMC.
Yeah, this is why Inteleon support is my favorite way to run him in VGC, because he has so many options to enable the powerhouses of the meta. And the Protect is there, honestly, to bait people out. You can always buy extra turns and maybe not have to waste that Ghost Terra on your support and save it for your offensive sweeper. We'd be a bit sad if we left this guide without talking about the old school sniper set and what it can do now.
Yeah, absolutely. We are taken a page out of the Pokemon MD with this one, and we are going to try out the Snipe Shot.
Yeah, so it's always worth noting that, like we said at the top, this used to have Focus Energy, so then it would make it 100% crit, which was amazing. But we can get it to 50%, so it's still not too bad. And we have Terra, and we talked about how much rain is everywhere, and we can go Terra Water. That's right, this is the double dip. Every single Galarian Starter video is going to have at least one where we have that Terra Grass Wood Hammer with the Choice Band from Rillaboom. This is what we got here. You can either do Choice Specs or Scope Lens, but this is the super heavy-hitting powerhouse Terra Water. No other options for me. Timid, 252, same as what we've been saying all day. Snipe Shot, Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, and then either Protect or U-Turn. It's very simple. You can also do either Haze or Taunt, or if it's VGC, whatever, helping. There's a lot of different moves you could slot into that last slot, either without Protect or U-Turn, right? But essentially, Snipe Shot, Dark Pulse, Ice Beam. There's not much more to talk about. Those are the moves that we need for this set, and that's all he kind of goes with. There is something I'd like to say about, like, maybe if you did want to run Terra Blast as that fourth move and not go Terra Water Zero, what do you think a couple of good Terras might be for that?
Yeah, you could maybe go with like a Terra Ground or something like that, or a Terra Grass. You could also tack Hydro Pump in here somewhere. You'd have to give up the coverage of probably Dark Pulse and just submit to not necessarily beating water types, but yeah, if you want like the most damage possible.
I don't hate the idea of Terra Steel.
Yep.
To cover some fairies or poison, either one. But also Terra Electric, because then we have that Bolt Beam coverage.
Yeah, that could be excellent. I definitely don't think you leave home without U-Turn on this set, though. If you're in the rain and you're Terra Water, you're going to force a lot of people to switch. So you'll want to call them out on that and U-Turn out.
I think that's a solid shout. So, like we talked about for all of these home update pokes, Pikalytics not up right now. We will come back and revisit them and let you know how the stats are going. But Zero, this is super fun. I can't wait to try this guy in Unite. Pew pew! I can't wait to try this guy in cards. We still have some old school shady dealings and quick shooting running around. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to
little
tech this
PMC
guy.
expanded format.
I'm excited to tech this guy into a rain team for some 3v3.
I'm really excited to try this guy in singles. I'm excited to shake off the dust and see what I can do with my old support set. I did transfer him in, so he is in home. Dimitri is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We just got to find him a home. So let us know down in the comments below. Have you tried him out yet? Getting ready for Regulation D. If you're watching this in the future, have you tried him on the Switch? If you have, let us know what you think. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We want to hear it all in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button, the thumbs up, and that bell to stay notified every time we put up a new How to Use guide on the PMC YouTube channel. Go check us out on Spotify. We do put up our podcast there every 2 weeks. We really appreciate all of the support. Until next time, I've been Gym Leader Justin.
And I'm Zero.
Council's adjourned.